In the last lecture, we have seen up to this torque required to raise the load by the square threaded screw jack that we have seen by using this derivation. Here, finally, we got our equation in between the effort required and the load. The equation is here. At the end of this derivation, we got the relationship between our torque and the load. Okay, W tan of alpha plus pi into d by t. So this is the relationship between how much amount of torque is required to overcome the friction. Next to that, if you go further, there is a one more uh, effort or one more torque is required in our screw. So that we called it as a torque required to overcome the collar friction. So if you just look at the figure, you'll find that here there is a collar. You can see this figure. This figure shows that this is our screw. The screw is fitted with this collar. Okay. Why this collar is required? So there is a friction between our screw and whatever load which is getting going to lifted up. When our load is touched to the upper surface of this collar or screw, then what will happen? There is a friction start. So to reduce this friction, there should be bearing action. You can see here there is a gap. So here there is a gap. You can see the gap. So it acts as a bearing. There is a simple collar. What is the collar? Collar is having very simple construction. It is having R1 and R2 radius, and the collar is fitted over this screw. Okay. So now, how to overcome this friction? Okay. So for that, we have two different conditions. So the first condition is uniform pressure condition, and second condition is uniform wear condition. So under the uniform pressure condition, this is the equation. Now again, in your mind, you might have question from where this equation comes. So this equation already we have studied in our theory of machine. So in might be in your collar bearing or bearing chapter. In that, you'll find that if there is a bearing, collar bearing, then in our clutches also we can have this equation. So there are two equations. One is for uniform pressure condition, one is for the uniform condition. So in the uniform pressure condition, the torque required to overcome collar friction is 2 by 3 mu 1 W R1 cube minus R2 cube divided by R1 square minus R2 square. R1 and R2 are the radius of this collar. Okay. So here, if I consider uniform wear condition, then T2 will be mu1 into W R1 plus R2 divided by 2. It comes mu1 WR. So this is the equation. This is a very simple equation. So if I consider uniform wear condition. So as far as to reduce the complexity or to reduce the equation, you can consider assuming uniform wear condition, the total lifted is equal to T1. So you can see the equation here. T1 is the torque required to overcome the screw friction, and T2 is the torque required to overcome the collar friction. So this is the two equations. Okay, so this is regarding different torque required that has to be overcome. Okay, so here we have total torque. The total torque to overcome friction in screw jack. Okay, so total torque to overcome friction in screw jack, T total equals to the torque required to overcome the screw friction plus torque required to overcome collar friction. Okay, so T total we can write the T total is equal to, here the torque required to overcome the screw friction that we have already known, W tan of alpha plus phi into d by 2. Okay, so this is T1 or T screw plus we can take collar friction. The collar friction, we can have two types of collar friction. As we know, there is a uniform wear and uniform pressure theory. So we can consider here mu1 W into R. So this is the according to uniform wear. According to uniform wear condition. So this is the T of collar. So this is the torque required to overcome the collar friction. Okay. Now this equation we generally use for our uh, design for the total torque to be transmitted by the screw jack. Okay, so in our equation we have seen that torque required to raise the load. Now let us see how we can say about the torque required to lower the load. Okay, so torque to raise the load that we have seen. So that is T equal to W tan of alpha plus phi into d by t. So this is the equation to raise the load. Now if I say how much amount of torque is required, torque to lower the load. Okay. So for that T is equal to W tan of phi minus alpha. So this is the equation which is used to lower the load. How this equation comes? This equation again comes with the same kind of theory. So in our last lecture we have seen that there is a triangle of one thread. So this is the pitch, this is pi d, this is alpha. So there is a block of screw. In our torque required to raise the load, we have considered the direction of effort in this direction, but we have to lower the load. That means direction of effort will be here. So this is the direction of effort. Same equation that we are going to see here. So there is a direction W here. So this is the direction W. Here, because the block is moving in this direction, there is a frictional force Ff. As there is a frictional force, there is a perpendicular normal reaction Rn. So by using this particular concept, as we have already seen in our first equation, we can say that we can resolve the forces in horizontally, we can resolve the forces, and we say that torque required to lower the load is equal to W tan of phi minus alpha into d by 2. Similarly, here W is the load, our phi is the friction angle, alpha is helix angle, and so on. So this is similar to our previous equation. In the last lecture, we have proved this equation already we have proved by using similar kind of thing. So by taking opposite direction of effort and by taking this, we say that torque required to lower the load is T is equal to W tan of phi minus alpha. So based on this particular thing, now there may be one question in your mind, whether the torque required to lower the load is positive or negative, because generally we say that if the load is lifted up, we require positive torque. But why there is a necessity of positive torque or negative torque or zero torque while lowering the load? So that is the question. So that question gives us two more concepts that we'll see here. There are two concepts based on the whether the torque required to raise the load is positive or it is negative. Based on that, there are two concepts. One is called as a self-locking concept of self-locking, and another concept is overhauling screw. Okay, so what is meant by self-locking and what is meant by overhauling, that we'll see. In our case, if I use the screw for our screw jack, in the screw jack, if I lift the particular vehicle, for example, if I use that screw jack to lifting the car or truck, so if I lift that truck, I have to retain the car or truck in the same position for maintenance purpose. हम जब कार या ट्रक ऊपर चढ़ाते हैं या फिर ऊपर लिफ्ट करते हैं, so we have to retain, उसको वैसे रखना पड़ता है थोड़ी देर के लिए for maintenance purpose. So it should not happen that when we use that particular torque and we lift the load and automatically it coming down. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. So that means to lower the load also there should be some positive torque should given to the power screw. उसको उतारने के लिए भी कुछ effort लगना चाहिए. Otherwise what will happen? By lifting the car by using positive torque, W tan of alpha plus pi into d by 2. For the lowering torque, if the torque is zero or negative, load जो है automatically नीचे आता रहेगा. So it should not happen. So that is called as a self-locking condition. So in the self-locking condition, self-locking screw. So what is that self-locking screw? So self-locking screw or self-locking condition in which the torque required to lower the load is positive. Okay, so this is the condition. So condition torque required to lower the load is how much? So T is equal to W tan of phi minus alpha into d by 2. So this is the formula. Okay, in this formula, if phi is greater than alpha, if the phi is greater than alpha, then only tan of phi minus alpha is positive. Okay, if it is positive, then only torque is positive. So this is the condition required for self-locking screw. If I say self-locking means what? The friction angle should be greater than helix angle. If the friction angle is greater, then only tan of alpha plus is positive, torque is positive. That means if I use a particular coefficient of friction in such a way that, because phi is friction angle, so tan of phi is mu. What is mu? Mu is coefficient of friction. We must use the coefficient of friction between screw and nut in such a way that whatever angle comes out here, so phi should be somewhat greater than the helix angle. If I use more and more helix, then there is a possibility that this angle goes on increase. If the alpha is going to increase, then phi is lesser than alpha, then in that case torque required is not negative. So then in such cases, the screw jack with load may come down slowly. So that is not good, or that is not helpful for this screw jack purpose. ठीक है, ऐसा करने से screw jack नीचे आ जाएगा. So that's why here self-locking condition is important. Okay, now this is asked for 4 marks. What is meant by self-locking? Second thing is overhauling of screw. So if I go for that, overhauling of screw. So in the overhauling of screw, second is overhauling of screw. So in the overhauling of screw, again, if the torque required to lower the load is negative. If it is negative, then this condition is called overhauling of screw. Overhauling of screw is having T is equal to W tan of phi minus alpha into d by 2. In this condition, this phi is less than or equal to alpha. If this is the condition, obviously tan of phi minus alpha is less than or equal to 0, or it is negative. It is negative. If it is negative, then obviously torque is negative. If the torque is negative or 0, if the torque is negative or 0, then this condition is called overhauling of screw. If this is the condition, then we say that our screw or our load come down without any application of any extra torque. So this completes the concept of our torque required to lower the load, self-locking, and overhauling of screw.